So I'm Chris Webb, and we're here in Carnation, Washington at the home of Gary and Marian Ammett. I worked on the design of the rainwater harvesting system for their home back in 2010. And this project utilizes rainwater for its sole source of water for the home. There is no well. And this project also set the precedent for King County as the first approved sole source potable rainwater system in the county. And Gary, I thought you would be great if you could tell us a little bit about why you decided to do rainwater and some of the other environmental features of the house.
My wife and I got lucky 5 years ago when we got to buy this property. It's got a gorgeous view, and being environmentalists, we wanted to do the most ecologically friendly house we could. So we did a passive house, which is a real strict German energy standard, airtight house, triple pane windows, things like that. The price for doing a well up on this hill with the great view was pretty expensive. So when the idea of doing rainwater would be more environmentally friendly came along, we decided to go ahead and do a rainwater system, and it turned out to be a lot of work to get it approved and so forth, but we're glad we did because it makes us off the grid and makes us net zero water. So it's been a good deal all around for us. Our roof is a standing seam metal roof. It's 3,200 square feet, and because we were doing rainwater, that's like the best surface you could do. Plus, we went the extra mile and we did stainless steel rain gutters, just so there's that much less chance of anything leaching into the water. It flows into some pre-filters in the house and then comes into our 8,800-gallon tank. The way I've worked out, an inch of rain on the roof puts about a foot in the tank. And then Chris can tell you how he sized that tank.
We sized this tank using a long-term daily rainfall model. I looked at some local rain gauges that had over 50 years of daily rainfall, put that into a big spreadsheet. We assigned a water budget of about 120 gallons a day for Gary and Marian and their guests, and so that resulted in this 8,800-gallon tank. And based on that modeling, we're sure that this size tank will meet their domestic demands with a factor of safety over a long time. The rainwater from the roofs is coming in through each of these pipes, one pipe for each side of the house, which goes to these pre-filters. And these pre-filters have a screen inside that filters the water down to 300 microns. These filters work by a principle of adhesion, whereas the water is introduced into the filter, it starts swirling around the filter, and then by adhesion is able to get essentially sucked through the filter. The dirty water goes down and the clean water goes out through the screen and out to the cistern. The equipment to make the water drinkable once it's in the cistern and pre-filters is actually quite simple. The pipe that comes up out of the slab there comes from the cistern, comes through this 1 horsepower variable speed pump, and then goes into the first stage of filters, which is a 50 and a 5 micron filter nested together, then through a 1 micron filter, and then lastly through a 0.5 micron carbon block filter before going through and running through the UV disinfection light. And once it runs through the UV light, it's safe to drink. This UV light has a couple of important features. First of which is the fact that the bulb runs continuously. And by the bulb running continuously, it maintains the water in a safe to drink fashion, even if the system is not running. And to ensure that the bulb is running, there's a detector here which detects a bulb failure. And if the bulb fails for whatever reason, the controller system will shut this solenoid valve and stop the system from working. So in that way, it's a fail-safe system, so if any problems emerge with the disinfection system, it'll just shut the water off to the house. Well, Gary, it's been great to come out here and see the system in action after so much work working with you to get it permitted and built. And I think it's time for a toast.
Thanks, Alan. Thank you for designing it and walking us through the whole process.
Okay, salud.